What's going on, YouTube? StreetRunner51 here, coming at you with an updated deck profile today. I don't know if I uploaded my Deskbots to YouTube yet. If I haven't before, well, congratulations. This is the first installment of me playing Deskbots. I've been playing them for like the past month. Every week I've either topped or almost topped with this deck. And this was the $15 tournament at my locals, like the more expensive, cheap to some, but the expensive tournament at my locals where only the competitive people go. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to play, so the night before I kind of put this back together, put my intake on it, and I went undefeated. The credit was it was for like 150 credit we were playing for, because not that many people showed up. Usually if there's more we get like 200, 250. And then we ultimately decided to split in top four, because I ended up playing two out of the four players, including myself. So I mean, I played the majority of top four, and then the one person who I was going to play against I hadn't played yet. I had beaten the other two people in top four, but it was just somebody else. I didn't want to risk losing the credit, so we just decided to split. But it was undefeated. I definitely think I probably could have taken top if I had played, but I just didn't want to risk losing the credit, so we just split it 4 ways. I'll get right into it, though. Oh, and by the way, my matchups were, I played against like a Hero Pendulum Performapal deck, a Satellar Knight deck, and then 2 more Pendulum Performapal decks. And honestly, all of the builds had like the Luster Pendulums in it. None of them were like janky. They were all competitive builds. And I was playing against like really good people at the locals, and I just managed to kind of skim by. The Teller Knights, I went 2-1. Round 1, I went 2-0. Round 4, I went 2-0, I think, and then round 3, I went 2-1. I won by the skin of my teeth round 3. It was a misplay that cost them the game, and I just came back and OTK'd. So, there you have it. But anyway, getting right into it, I'm just going to assume you guys know what they do, so I'm just going to kind of run through the monsters a little bit, because I don't like explaining all the combos 100 times. 3 Deskbot 6, 3 Deskbot 5. These are pendulum scales. They're extremely important, especially with the upcoming support. Next, you play 3 Deskbot 4s. Single-handedly wins you games sometimes because your opponent has to out it instead of just beat over it. 3 Deskbot 3. This card goes off more often than not, and if they let it go off, most of the time you'll just search another copy of it with Deskbot 2 if you summon Deskbot 2, just to kind of start building up more advantage if your hand is okay. So that you play 3 Deskbot 2 as well for the search, and then a single Deskbot 1. I was thinking about playing 2, and I used to play 2, but I've learned that this card, as good as it may be, you don't need it to win the game. So I just dropped it to 1, and I haven't regretted it since. And it's put in a lot of damage. It's also made a lot of synchro plays happen. I made Trishula a couple times in the tournament because of this card. So, here you have it for Deskbot 1. And then, where is it? A single Girgia Augur to search the Deskbot 4, wherever he is. There he is. This card came in clutch against the Teller Knight game because I had no monsters that I could use, and I drew this off of a Max C, and I managed to kind of come back and plus off the Deskbot 4 enough to win the game. And then moving into game 3, he just bricked, and so he lost. So I was really happy because honestly, this Teller Knight player is scary at our locals. He can do ungodly plays with that deck. I'm telling you. Next, play 1 Birdman. Just for the, you can reset your Deskbot 3 by being able to normal summon it again and sync for, levels. Or you can return the Deskbot 2s to your hand to special summon this, synchro, pendulum summon out more Deskbot 2s to get more searches. You can do a lot with Birdman, and I really like this card in the deck. It's super useful. Next, 3 max. Oh, and I can't tell you how many times I went synchro summon with 3 Deskbot 2s and a Birdman, and yeah, that's a Trishula, so that's really good in my opinion. And then 2 Max Cs. I drew this card so much during the tournament, and every single time I drew it, people let me draw multiple cards off of this, because they're like, I either win or I lose, and they lost because they didn't win that turn. So, this card's broken in the deck. And then For the spells, 2 Machine Dupe. I'm not going to look back on playing 2. I like 2. I was thinking about playing 3, and I realized that I always need a specific monster to make this better. So 2 of them was the right number for me. I felt like there's too many times that you draw multiple copies of Deskbot 2 to make this thing super playable, and, you know, I mean, with the new field spell, it's going to make Machine Dupe better, but you're not even going to rely on it as much. It's going to be probably like a singular copy of Machine Duplication because, you know, with the new stuff coming out, you're not going to have as much space, and this card's going to get just like a little less good. It's not going to be bad, but it's just going to be a little less good because there's other plays you can make. But this card, like, if you Machine Dupe, you win the game, basically. And then because I know there's so many like pendulum-based decks, I play 2 Wavering Eyes in the main. I got Wavering Eyes for 4, and I've still won the game. I Wavering Eyes for 4, and obviously I won the game. This card's just too good, and I mean, I 2 is enough. I have 3. I just don't play 3. I think like I'm only gonna need 2. It's good, but I'm never gonna think I'm gonna need 3 Wavering Eyes this match. It shouldn't last that long. An instant fusion for Norden to make more plays, maybe like a rank 4. Or to make a synchro play, I don't know, you know, in case you ever need it. Regeki, obvious. This card comes in so clutch. I just Regeki a whole board, and then I win. Like, this card's mandatory. If you're not playing it, I don't care if you're playing as Pendulums. You still keep it in, because as long as you're not playing as Mana Specters, this card's still good. And then 2 Upstart Goblin. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix the focus. 2 Upstart Goblin. I don't think you need 3. You can still OTK through it. That's the amazing part about this deck. Is there kind of just to fill for space, and I haven't looked back on it. And then for the traps, 1 Vanities, triple Fiendish Chain. This card actually is really good, especially against Castells. Anything that tries to out your Deskbot 4, you usually just Fiendish Chain it. And there's a lot of times, too, like, you need to negate things like Ignister, and if you can't get around Ignister, which for whatever reason you couldn't, you need to make sure that they can't use that Ignister effect, because it's too good against this deck sometimes, because they can return your Pendulum monsters. So you gotta be careful, and that's why I like Fiendish Chain. And I play 3 Call, just to make sure I can get back my monsters. It used to be better than it was this week, I feel like, because I've played it at 3, and it's usually been really good. This week I haven't resolved it much. Like, I never really drew it and had the need for it. So I might downgrade it to 2, because I feel like 2 is probably, like, it's a safe number. And when I did get it off, it was really good, because there was a time I called the Haunted, someone went, warning, and then I just call the Haunted again. I get the search anyway. And the searches are really powerful, because you summon Deskbot 2, obviously. I mean, that's how you get the search. So I do like Call. But I don't know what the number is going to be for this yet. Whether it be 1, 2, or 3, I don't know. But I feel like 3 might be too much, especially with the new 7 and 8 coming out, the new Deskbots. And then play the 1 warning. Sorry about that shake. The 1 warning, obvious summon negation. I play Time Space Trap Hole. For the Pendulum summons, you just get rid of them all. You play a Bottomless, obviously. For the Pendulum summons, you can get rid of them all. Or a monster you don't like, get rid of it. The Singular Mirror Force, which comes in clutch. It really does. This is probably either going to be maybe even burying Mirror Force. You can play any Mirror Force in this deck with the new Deskbots coming out. Because, if I'm not mistaken, one of the 2 is a Piercer. So, you burying them, and they can't change their battle positions, and they're stuck with a big board of nothing. And you just you pierce through their, like, super weak defense, and you win. And then, Torrential, obviously. I mean, this card's super good. I was contemplating whether or not to set a Torrential or a Time Space Trap Hole, and I set the Torrential. He normal summons a guy from his hand, and I'm like, Torrential, and I win. So that happened, and I'm not even exaggerating. It was crazy. Onto the extra deck, I play the Nat Beast. These sleeves are chaotic, so the stupid Ultra Pro sign's in the way, but this is Nat Beast. I made it like once or twice during the tournament. I made it like once during the tournament. It was good when it happened, but my opponent made a Nat Beast to clash into it, which was really funny because I couldn't stop the attack. And I had to call the Haunted, said I was going to resummon it, but I'm like, I'm reading the Wavering Eyes, and I read correctly, and he Wavering Eyes for 4. He ultimately lost, but I was really afraid. I was like, crap, I can't negate anything. So Nat Beast didn't put in work this weekend, but it was definitely useful. Then the Barkion. I mean, I never look back on Barkion. It's one of those cards where you have it when you need it, you win the game basically, because it makes so your opponent can't possibly draw anything against you that you're going to be like upset about, or set anything against you that you're going to hate. Then the Black Rose to nuke the board. Cyframe Lord Zeta. I do like Cyframe Lord Zeta in the extra deck. It makes your opponent like put everything in defense mode, and more often than not, when they play defensively, they can't OTK. So then, by the time they finish their board, they don't have enough damage per game, and usually by then, next turn you can win. And then I play Scrap Dragon and a Stardust Spark. If you want to take things out for, I would keep Stardust Spark, but if you want to take something out for like Scarlight, take out the Scrap Dragon for Scarlight. I would definitely play it if I owned one. Or you could play Cyframe Lord Omega. Take out the Zeta for Omega if you want. Because honestly, like those two cards are ridiculous as well. Then I play Trishula. I made it a few times. Deskbot Jet. I didn't make it this I'm sorry. I didn't make it this tournament. However, the card is useful. It's definitely a good card. I would keep it in. Then the Star Eater, because if you have Deskbot 1, you just summon that, and then you make Star Eater over Deskbot Jet, and you can just attack and safely win the game sometimes. Like, sometimes you need something where you'll safely win the game if they have back row, and you know it's like, and you're reading Mirror Forces or whatnot, knowing that there's 100 Mirror Forces out in the game right now. Sometimes Star Eater is going to be the card you want to go into more often than not. And then for the Exceeds, 1 Sky Cavalry Centauria, 1 Castell, 1 Abyss Dweller. I never made any of these. I made this once. I did make that. Durendal, which I probably could have made. 1 Photon Strike Bouncer. I could have made it, but I didn't. And then Norden. I didn't really use it much. And onto the side deck. Sorry, I'm just approaching the 12-minute mark, and I don't want to waste all your time. Anti-Spell Fragrance. Put in work. 3 Flying Sea. For the this is side deck, obviously. 3 Flying Sea. This card put in work as well. Is that all I play? Yep. 1 Grandhorn for decks that inherently special summon. 2 Mind Crush. 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, which I kind of want to incorporate into the main deck at some point, because I don't like running into back row at all. So I feel like I might try and put that in. If not, Twin Twister. I put in Poisonous Winds as well, for in case I play against Magic Specters, which is a harder matchup for this deck because their spells and traps really kind of hinder you. And then I play 2 Imperial Iron Wall for anything that likes to remove things from play. And double Memory Loss for Magic Specters and Cosmo, which I never played against, so it never came in. The only thing I sided this whole weekend was Flying Seas. Yeah, I only sided the Flying Seas and the Anti-Spell Fragrance. That's all I needed this whole weekend. So everything else is up to you. I play the 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance because you can play around your not being able to Pendulum Summon. It's really not important. So as long as you stop your opponent from doing it, that's usually what matters more. So anyway, that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think. It's a lot of fun. I'm probably going to have... I'm going to finish building Fluffle first, probably. And then I'm also going to finish building Infernoids. And I'm going to have these 3 decks probably be my main decks for a while. That's all I really have built. But I might do like a discussion or something on the format soon. How it's going to change. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And peace out, YouTube.